Well, hello there, and I do hope you're all well, and I do hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know I did. Mighty Bantams picked up 3 points and had a good night out Saturday night, and really, really enjoyable. But anyway, to the video at hand. On Friday, I was listening to James O'Brien show, and they were talking about now the new one is how these MPs are now saying, everybody, it's time to move on. Everybody move on. Nothing to see here now. Yes, our bodgers apologetically apologised and was all contrite and contrarian and very sanguine and all that nonsense. And everybody now needs to move on. But people were saying that the new one who was saying that was Liz Truss, and they were saying, has our voice got deeper? And people were saying, well, I'm not right sure. Well, anyway, James O'Brien, he pulls out this old video, old clip of having an interview with, getting right royally owned by Eddie Mair on LBC. It's a belter, so it's well worth a listen. And then they put the voice of her in the latest video of her said, sounded like Barry White, and is everybody time to move on? And sounding all very deep and authoritative. And it was quite interesting. Now, then there's a call after, like as I said, Max had it on his show. I think he covered the same one. But I wanted to add that because I think it is very, very important that I had it on, and I'll tell you why after you listen. So enjoy.
24 minutes after 11 is the time. I play you that clip. We've cut it down to 28 seconds because it is absolute gold. It's part of a CD that was available just before Christmas, the greatest hits of Eddie Mair.
What do you think of having another EU referendum?
A very, very, very bad idea.
But people can change their minds, can't they?
But they were told in the referendum in 2016 that their vote would be implemented, and the reality is the vote needs to be implemented.
But what about the people who've changed their minds between then and now?
I don't think people have changed their minds. Everyone I speak to, I have, that's true.
Right.
In the other way, though, Eddie.
Oh, I see.
Just genius. Can we do it? Can we do very quickly a little snatch of that and then a little snatch of today's and see if her voice has changed, if it has gone deeper? It's all right. We can just play it and then come out and then play the other one, can't we? So let's play a little bit of the first one and then a little bit of today's, because quite a few people have said her voice has definitely changed. I don't mind. It's not really a criticism because, she's changed her clothes, she's changed her politics, she's changed her principles, she's changed her party. It's not that big a shock if she's changed her voice, and it probably is that sort of chameleon-like character that allows her to be the front runner for the leadership at the moment among Conservative Party members. They're not the sharpest knives in the drawer, are they? If they can't notice the... what did I just say? Clothes was a figure of speech. We all change our clothes, some of us more often than others. But she's changed her party, she's changed her politics, she's changed her principles, she's changed her stand on the membership of the European Union. So if she is, as Margaret Thatcher did before her, working with people to help change her voice, I don't think we should be that shocked. So here is... So when was that? 2018, would that be? 2019? 2019.
What do you think of having another EU referendum?
A very, very, very bad idea.
But people can change their minds, can't they?
But they were told in the referendum in 2016 that their vote would be implemented, and the reality is the vote needs to be implemented.
But what about the people who changed their minds?
So we got enough of that, and here's 2022.
When I heard about this, I was, of course, very, very concerned, and I understand that people across the country are
She sounds like
angry,
Barry White.
About what has happened. Earlier this week, the Prime Minister did apologise for mistakes that have been made. We have the inquiry taking place by Sue Gray, and
could be a coincidence. Could be what do they call it, Keith? Levels, is it? Modulation. What's it called on the pitch? No, I know what pitch. It's like the technical term. It could be the studio. It could be the modulation. Is it? Is that the word? Yeah, could be that. But could be lessons. 26 minutes after 11. Cam's in Kensington. Cam, what made you pick up the phone?
Hiya. Yeah, I mean, what made me pick up the phone was being told to move on, really.
Ah, yes. You're not prepared to. Good.
No, and I don't think a lot of other people are either. I through every coronavirus restriction, I'm a chapel attendant, a funeral officer at a cemetery and crematorium.
Okay.
I stood at the big double doors and put my hand up and stopped a lot of people from coming in, breathing cracked up phrases. I had to tell them, no, I'm sorry, we have to stand our ground. And, some people would push past you and you have to stand out your way. Whoa. And some people would stand there and cry and say, I understand. And I feel like an idiot.
Why?
I feel like an
Why
idiot.
do you feel like an idiot?
Because I feel like I could have been more lenient. I mean, if the government was being that lenient at the time, and we're all standing here trying to follow the rules, and he can't even follow the rules that he's put out himself. We all should have seen it. We all should have seen it with Priti Patel. When that guy, I forgot his name, but the guy who talks about the
Alexander Allen.
Yeah, when he resigned, we should have seen it then. We should have seen it all coming. This is going to happen again and again and again. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. He's a different type of government, a government that doesn't follow the rules of sheer mortals. He follows whatever rules he wants to follow, and it's.
I hadn't. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing that job, mate. It must have been brutal.
It was difficult, because you obviously you're looked at as the bad person. That's not the problem. It's this conglomerate feeling of grief is just so much higher at that time. It started with, I think, I really can't remember my numbers, but I think it was 10 or 15 it started with, went up to 30, and it still wasn't. People have more loved ones than 30 people.
Of course.
And I've got to say, bless Boris, when it came to, his loved ones, I think he tried his best. He did. He held down to, the restrictions. So I've got to say that, but it's disgusting. An apology in words is just words. It means nothing to these people, these grieving people. What means something is an apology with an action. Like all British government have done, or at least endeavoured to do, is apologise with an action. Resign, because you don't want to get fired, right? You need to resign. That's what he needs to do.
I just want to take a minute to tell you not to beat yourself up, if you don't mind, because you did the right thing. You can't do it in reverse. You can't think you should have done the wrong thing because they did.
Yeah.
It's a bit trite, and I apologise, Cam, but I sense the emotion. I heard the emotion in your voice. Two wrongs don't make a right. You did the right thing, and they rode roughshod over the right thing. They didn't just ride roughshod over the rules that they made, that they wrote.
Yeah.
They rode roughshod over the right thing to do. So don't please use that as something to beat yourself up with.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean it, man. That's really important. It's the worst thing that can happen. I heard Lindsay Jackson on with Eddie earlier in the week saying that she was doing the same thing about thinking whether she should have broken the rules to go and spend time with her dying mother. And I don't know why it gets under my personal wire more than other things do, but the idea of you beating yourself up or Lindsay beating herself up because the people at the top were utterly devoid of decency really is the worst thing. But I know none of us can help how we feel, can we?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you for saying that.
Look after yourself as well. All right.
Yeah, will do. Thank you for your time.
Cam. You take care.
And yeah, her voice has changed, and you can definitely tell. When she was speaking, it was basically saying, "Yes, I'm Liz Truss." I'm running to be your new leader. Yeah, well, like as James said, she's practically just given up on all of her political morals anyway, so might as well change your voice. You've changed your clothes, your political views, all for personal gain, so why not? But if I'm honest, the reason why I thought, yeah, I'm going to keep that clip of that poor guy practically crying on the phone, and he said something that a caller who was talking to Eddie May said the same thing. I feel like an idiot. And because for following the rules. And that's something that James O'Brien picked up later on, I think not long after that phone call. He basically said, everything that Boris Johnson touches, he corrupts. And he does. He just corrupt, and like the saying goes, the fish rots from the head down. And I'm sorry, Liz, and I'm sorry, Priti Patel and everybody else, you know, all you bodger fan bases. No, we're not going to move on. Can't move on. People, you explain that to that poor guy who's having to try and tell grieving people who are going to funerals that no, you've got to move on and forget about it. Sorry, Liz. Sorry, Priti Patel and everybody else. You can't, and neither can he. And you expecting us to forget about it and move on? No, I don't think it is going to happen. The amount of times I've heard people saying, I am done with the Conservative Party. And loads of time now, we all know. When it really, really comes to it, will they or won't they? Who knows? Especially when it comes to May, they probably will get a Muller in, but at a general election, are they going to go back to still voting for them or not? Who knows? But I thought that was really, really interesting. You could definitely tell she has changed her voice. It's clearly obvious. Now, if that's what it takes to become the next leader of the extreme Brexit Tory government, knock yourself out, Liz. But anyway, I shall leave the video here. Until the next time, I shall bid you farewell and take care.